I'm scrolling on my Facebook page, feeling curious, attorney months. He's got the legal education, baby, yeah. He's the litigation expert. No one like the back of my hand. You got a problem, he's a lawyer on demand. Check his post, they're full of legal advice. Learning about the law, it's like a rolling dice, from contracts to torts. He's got it all covered. Attorney Marks, he's the legal expert, no other. I'm scrolling on my he's throwing up your feet, learning about the law. That's all we really need. He's got the knowledge, he's got the skills. I'm scrolling on my he's paying all your legal bills. I'm scrolling on my he's paying all your legal bills. He's got the legal education, baby, yeah. He's the litigation expert. No one like the back of my hand. You got a problem, he's a lawyer on demand. Check his post, they're full of legal advice. Learning about the law, it's like a rolling dice, from contracts to torts. He's got it all covered. Attorney Marks, he's the legal expert, no other. I'm scrolling on Marks, he's paying all your legal bills.
Okay. So, good day sa inyo again mga ate at kuya, and dito naman po tayo ulit sa ating Under the Law with your kuya sa batas po, Attorney Mox. Ayan po. So, good day, good day. Sorry, kakagising ko lang. Pero wala, napag-isipan ko rin na tuloy pa rin po natin ang ating diskusyon ukol sa mga batas, tsaka yung mga pwede nating pag-usapan na makakatulong sa inyong everyday living, no? So, nandito tayo para pag-usapan hindi lang yung batas, paano din siya ma-apply, no? Especially yung mga ating jurisprudence. Yung jurisprudence is actually yung parang mga kaso na dinesidean ng Supreme Court. Laging tatandaan na maliban sa batas, yung law itself, yung mga kaso na dinidesidean ng Supreme Court, magiging parte na siya ng batas, no? So, pabago-bago yung ating batas po, no? Especially mga desisyon ng ating Supreme Court. Minsan, nababago siya, minsan nadadagdagan, minsan nag-i-improve. Hindi lang nadadagdagan, nag-i-improve pa doon sa yung effect ng batas na yun. Okay? So, again, maraming salamat sa mga nanonood. Teka lang, ayan. Maraming salamat sa mga nanonood. We are going to move immediately, no? Kasi alas 10 may gagawin na naman ako, okay? So, let's start. Okay, so welcome to the Under the Law episode 46. Ayan. So, we are going to talk about two case. Okay, so sa dalawang case po natin, we have here si Madayag versus Madayag and Cruz versus Christensen. Basically, yung ating kaso is more on ejectment suit. Okay? So, a konting idea lang ano ibig sabihin ng ejectment suit. This is also called action interdictal. So, sa action interdictal, we have two cases doon or vice versa, action interdictal or ejectment suit. Sa ejectment suit, ang grounds ng ejectment suit is yung sinasabi nilang unlawful detainer at saka forcible entry. Okay. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng ejectment suit? Isa siyang suit or kumbaga action, no, na kumbaga nakapaloob doon na pag ikaw ay nag-file ng isang ejectment suit, ang magiging effect noon kung mag-grant man yan ng court, especially the municipal trial court, ay mapapatalsik, mapapaalis mo yung mga tao doon sa bahay or sa lupa. So let's say for example, merong nakatira doon sa lupa, nag-file ka sa kanila ng ejectment suit, sabi ng ejectment, sabi ng court, ng municipal trial court, sige, granted siya. mapapaalis mo sila. Ayan. So, dalawa po ang ating action interdictal or ejectment suit, no? Unlawful detainer at saka forcible entry. So, ang unlawful detainer, para hindi natin tayo mahirapan, yung forcible entry kasi, yung forcible entry from the word itself, forcible entry. Kumbaga, yung isang tao na walang karapatan ay ginamit niya yung property mo. Let's say for example, may property ka, tapos Saudi Arabia ka. Yung lupa na yon, may tumira doon. Forcible entry yon. Ayan. So, unlawful detainer naman is from nagsimula siya sa lawful. Let's say for example, nagrenta siya. Tapos umabot sa point na hindi na siya nagbayad. So, hindi na siya legal doon. Naging unlawful na siya. So, kumbaga nagsimula siya sa lawful, which is, kumbaga nagbabayad siya ng upa or rent. Tapos, nag-expire yung contract niya. Ayaw pa rin niya umalis. Unlawful detainer na yun. So, ang ipafile natin sa kanila, ejectment suit. Okay? So, yun. So, tama ba? Tama. Tama ba? No? Tama, no? Tama. So, anyway, we're going to talk about Madayag versus Madayag. This is a 2020 case. Although this is a 2020 case, ay, kamali ako. Madayag, no? Wait lang ha. Nawawala na ako. Ayan. So, Madayag versus Madayag, yun nga. Teka lang ha. Palitan natin to. Ayan. Para maganda. Para flawless. Ayan. So, ano ba yung case ng Madayag versus Madayag? Ang isang case dito, is it necessary to have a prior physical possession before a person can file an ejectment suit? Ayan. So, this is a very, very good example, no? Pag, lalo na sa mga malalayong lugar. So, ano yung parang summary ng case na to? Sa kaso ng Madayag versus Madayag, once upon a time, merong isang siblings. Yung siblings na yun is sila yung nagmana doon sa property ng kanilang magulang. Yan. Mainly sa kanilang mother. Let's say, for example, kanilang parents. Now, that is actually parang sa Camp John Hay, which is under the BCDA. So, let's say, for example, na lang, para generic na lang property. Tapos, nung umabot dun sa time na namatay yung kanilang magulang, nagkaroon sila ng parang extrajudicial settlement, no? In favor of one of the siblings. Sa isa sa magkakapatid, pabor sa kanila, binigay sa kanilang pangalan, itinitulo sa pangalan nung isang kapatid nila. Now, after that agreement, nag-US, si Patrick, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, nag-US si siblings. Now, here comes the another kapatid. Yung another na kapatid ay ginamit niya, no? Kasi na pumunta sa US yung kapatid na nakapangalan, no, via juridical act, kasi nakapangalan na talaga sa kanya. Nag-US sila. So, ang nangyari is yung isang kapatid ay tinirhan yung lupa. Ginawan pa niya ng bahay. Now, pag-uwi nung nakapangalan na siblings, the lawful owner, pinakiusapan yung kapatid niya to the point na yung kapatid, no, na ginamit lang yung lupa ay papatay niya yung lawful owner. Ang contention ng ating si kapatid kung saan ginamit yung lupa, sabi niya, custodian ka lang naman daw ng property. In fact, dapat yan pamana yan ni mama. Hindi yan daw para sa iyo. It is an inheritance from our parents. That's first. Second is, wala ka namang physical possession dito kasi doon ka nakatira sa US. Bakit mo magiging sa'yo ito na wala ka namang pagmamayari kasi hindi ka naman taga rito kasi taga US ka? Now, nag-file ng case ang lawful na kapatid through ejectment suit. So, ano ba ang ruling ng Supreme Court? Sabi ng Supreme Court, no, in that case sa Madayag versus Madayag, eto, as a rule, As a rule, possession in forcible entry cases refers to nothing more than a prior physical possession or possession de facto, not possession de jure or that arising from ownership. Title is not an issue. Title is not an issue. Okay. Nag-file ang lawful sibling ng forcible entry or ejectment suit on the ground of forcible entry kasi from the beginning naman wala naman talagang karapatan yung isang kapatid na gamitin niya nakapangalan naman. Pero sabi ng Supreme Court no, sa forcible entry, pag mag-file ka ng isang ejectment suit, hindi necessary na kailangan nakatitulo yung pangalan mo doon sa lupa. Pero of course mas better kung inclusive doon sa ating forcible entry is your title ownership. Take note possession ang usapan dito. The court, check the yellow na nakamark. The court has, however, consistently ruled that possession can be acquired not only by material or actual occupation but also by the fact that a thing is subject to the action of one's will or by proper acts and legal formalities established for acquiring such right. Ibig sabihin dito no, yung possession, kung meron mang ownership no through a legal formalities or juridical act, yung possession na yon hindi necessary na physical. Ano ibig sabihin doon? Doon sa property na which is the subject matter of the ejectment suit. Yung fact na sinabi niya na physical possession does not hold water. Ibig sabihin, kahit walang physical possession, pero nakapangalan naman sa kanya yon, constructively sa kanya yon. Okay? Yung nakapangalan. Okay? Nakapangalan sa kanya by way of extrajudicial settlement, no? Okay, in favor of the sibling whose name is registered as the owner of the property. Regardless kung pamana yon ng kanilang parents. Possession can be acquired by juridical acts. Ayan. These are acts to which the law gives the force of acts of possession. Examples of these are donations, successions, executions, and registration of public instruments, sorry for the spelling, inscription of possessory information, titles, and the like. The reason for this exceptional rule is that a possession in the eyes of law does not mean that man has to have his feet of the law. Is that possession in the eyes of the law does not mean that a man has to have his feet on every square meter of the ground before it can be said that he is in possession. It is sufficient that the petitioner was able to subject the property to the action of his will. Ibig sabihin, hindi kailangan ng prior physical possession para masabi na ako ang may-ari ng lupa. So because there's a constructive ownership by way of registering the subject matter or the land or the property itself in his name, na in the eyes of the law, still pa rin, ang owner pa rin is yung nakapangalan doon sa property. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung kapatid na ginamit niya yung property, he has no rights of whatsoever on the said land. Okay? Okay, so we have another case. Medyo mabilis lang talaga yung kwan natin, no? So yun ang kaso. So ano mangyayari? Kailangan talagang ibalik niya doon sa kanyang kapatid, okay? Regardless kung palagi na lang siya nag-US, okay? So another case naman, Cruz versus Christensen. Again, this is a 2017 case, but yung context nito, yung substance nito is very, very important. Stay pa rin landmark at saka kumbaga para tawag ko pa dyan is bentang-benta. Alright. So, teka lang. I just want to make sure. Okay. So, ang tanong dito sa Cruz versus Christensen, in a lease contract, is it necessary for a demand to vacate before filing for ejectment suit? Okay. So, ang case naman ito is in the so far as the lease contract. So, this is a very short issue, no? Ang issue naman dito is si owner at saka si lessor at saka si lessee. Ang usapan is a per month basis na pag-renew ng contract. So, kailangan mo magbayad per month para hindi ka mawala doon sa property na nililis mo. na property. Sad to say, yung lessee ay hindi na nakapagbayad. Dahil hindi nakapagbayad, pinapaalis, ayaw nilang umalis, nag-file sila ng demand, hindi pa rin na umalis yung lessee. So yung lessor, nag-file yung lessor ng ejectment suit doon sa lessee na nakatira. Okay. Ang sabi ng ating lessee, wala ka namang demand eh. Wala ka namang demand. So, kailangan dismiss yung kaso, kailangan may demand ka. Please take note that the generic procedure, no, para mag-collect ka ng sum of money or file of performance, tawag doon. Yung mag-file ka ng nakalimutan ko yun eh. Basta magbabayad ka ng mag-file ka ng anong tawag doon? Collection of sum of money, specific performance. Yan. So kailangan mo nyo po ng demand letter. Kailangan mo ng demand letter. Pero sa lease, kailangan ba na demand letter? Doon yung generic. Now, ano bang sabi ng Supreme Court? Take note may lease contract sila, month-to-month basis, and hindi nagbayad si lessee. Yon, yung tenant. Yon. So, nung nag-file sila ng case, sabi ng lessee, kailangan mo ng demand. Okay, ano bang sabi ng Supreme Court? Before we go to the Supreme Court, let's talk about the Article 1669 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. It says that if the lease was made for a determinate time, it ceases upon the day fixed without the need of a demand. Yan ang una. Alright. Take note, it's a month-by-month basis. So because there's a month-by-month basis under Article 1669, without the need of a demand, hindi mo kailangan silang padalhan ng demand letter para maningil ka. Okay, so nakasaad na po yan sa batas na kailangan mong magbayad. Okay. Ruling, ang ating ruling po nating Supreme Court, no? In this case, ang sabi niya dito, the prior service and receipt of a demand letter is unnecessary in a case for unlawful detainer provided the demand to vacate is premised on the expiration of the lease and not on the non-payment of rentals or non-compliance of the terms and conditions of the lease. Okay, ang pag-usapan natin dito is, take note, dalawa pong klase po. There are two instances na magaganap before a demand or before a demand is necessary and where a demand is not necessary. Demand is not necessary kung meron ng kontrata. Yung kontrata na yun is nagmamatter doon. Pag umabot ka doon sa expiration ng kontrata na yon, demand is no longer necessary. Pag example, wala naman pong usapan na expiration of contract but payment of rentals, kailangan mo talaga ng demand. Pero in this case kasi, although this talks about the non-payment of rentals, but please take note that it's a month-by-month basis. So, because there was a failure to pay of such rentals per month, that also results to the expiration and termination of contract, in which case, demand is no longer necessary. Ika nga ni Attorney Jurani. Summary natin is prior physical possession is not required in unlawful detainer cases. In unlawful detainer cases on the ground of expiration of the lease contract, demand is not necessary. The 1-year prescriptive period shall be counted from the expiration of the lease contract. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin itong the 1-year prescriptive period is within 1 year, you can still file an ejectment suit. That is action interdictal. Bago ka makapunta sa action publiciana at saka sa action publiciana at saka action puliana ba yun? Action publiciana at saka action basta yun basta tatlo kasi yung action interdictal, action publiciana, action possessoria ata, no? Action possessoria ba yun? Possessorium ba yun? Teka, let's look at it. Okay? Teka. Okay. Okay. action interdictal. It's actually recovering possession. And I'm going to look at it. Okay, so teka lang ah. Action reivindicatoria. Yun. So, bali, we have action interdictal, action publiciana, and action reivindicatoria. Yun. I just want to make sure kasi baka makalimutan ko. But anyway, yun nga po, no? So, I think that's the case that we have right now. Medyo mababa lang siya, but I think it's very, very helpful. Again, it's another day, another topics naman po tayo dito, no? Medyo napabilis lang po natin. But hey, that's actually the best thing in law. We can take it the long road or the short road. So again, maraming salamat. This is your Kuya sa Batas po. Nagsasabi po sa inyo na good night muna. See you tomorrow. And nagsasabi sa inyo na mahalin nyo inyong asawa dahil sila po ang tunay na batas. Bye-bye!
I'm scrolling on my Facebook page, feeling curious, the turning marks. He's got the legal education, baby, yeah. He's the litigation expert. No one like the back of my hand. You got a problem, he's the lawyer on demand. Check his post, they're full of legal advice. Learning about the law, it's like a rolling dice from contracts to torts. He's got it all covered. Attorney Marks, he's the legal expert, no other. I'm scrolling on Marks, he's going up your feet. Learning about the law, that's all we really need. He's got the knowledge, he's got the skills. I'm scrolling on Marks, he's paying all your legal bills. I'm scrolling on Marks, he's paying all your legal bills. He's got the legal education, baby, yeah. He's the litigation expert. No one like the back of my hand. You got a problem, he's the lawyer on demand. Check his post, they're full of legal advice. Learning about the law, it's like a rolling dice from contracts to torts. He's got it all covered. Attorney Marks, he's the legal expert, no other.